Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is February 28th, 2024 at time of speaking. I believe this episode was recorded sometime around the August-September area of last year. I apologize if some of this information seems particularly fall-related. Your favorite boys were in a particularly fall-y mood at the time of recording. But production is a long and arduous process, and it is now almost 6 months later that I'm gifting you with this episode. All that to say, I have a quick disclaimer. This is a music podcast where we discuss our thoughts and opinions on songs that we listen to. We do listen to them live in studio. However, if you are listening to this on a public streaming distribution, whatever platform of any sort, we obviously cannot play these songs due to them being copyright. So we just cut the songs out. We are still reacting to them firsthand. We are giving our honest thoughts, opinions, and psychology surrounding these songs. But I would recommend you either follow along and listen as you go, or if you listen beforehand, just to know what we're talking about. I will have all of these songs listed in the description. So have fun with that. If you want to. You also don't have to listen to anything. And if you're just here for us, hey, I'll take it. I appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in.
Sleeper Suplex! Hello, people of Earth and beyond. This is the September 6th episode of Sleeper Suplex, coming at you live from the gymnasium outside of Montauk, New York. I am your co-host, Kobe.
And I am audio engineer, George.
I was scrambling because I was trying to remember where Montauk was because I didn't have a second.
Is it on Long Island?
Yeah, Montauk's on Long Island.
Yeah, okay.
It's like at the very tip of Long Island.
Is there another Montauk? Is there one in like Canada or some shit? I feel like there is, and I always mix up the two.
Montauk, to me, this is a weird thing. In my head, when I hear a city name and it sounds very like, it legitimately just sounds like a Native American word, I assume it's farther north.
Yeah.
That's what I assume. It is in Long Island, New York is the main one.
Okay. Is that where Eternal Sunshine takes place?
Yeah, because the whole Meet Me at Montauk
Dude,
thing.
that's the most Toronto-ass movie I've ever seen, and the fact that that takes place in New York is crazy.
I don't think it's a Toronto movie.
It feels like a Toronto movie.
It feels cold, but New York gets cold.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I understand.
It
what
could be
you're saying.
crossing streams with Scott Pilgrim, given the whole like constantly changing hair color thing.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Dude, how pumped are you for the fucking anime special on Netflix? You pumped? I'm jazzed.
I'm cautiously pumped. I'm cautiously pumped because I'm a known
skeptic.
I am a known huge fan of the comics, and I'm going to be that guy.
Okay.
Not the biggest fan of the movie, which is weird because
Yeah.
I love everybody in it.
Yes.
All those actors kill it. The
do.
editing's phenomenal. Big Edgar Wright guy. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the movie's really good for like the first half. The second half feels a little rushed, and that's always disappointing, especially because I think that Scott Pilgrim's most interesting storylines are in the second half of the books. And also, Michael Cera, love him to death. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he's the right casting choice for a live-action Scott Pilgrim, man. He's too awkward. And I know Scott Pilgrim's awkward, but it was always kind of this, like false bravado, ego kind of awkward. And I just can't give Michael Cera an ego when I watch a movie with him in it. I can see that. It's just pure awkward. It's not like, cringe awkward. I mean, I guess it is, but you know what I mean.
I think so. I like the movie, but I think that you sort of when I read the comics when I was younger. I read the comics. I think I was in like my first 2 years of high school, and I don't think they really like hit the same way. I was like, oh yeah, these are fun. These are nice. I read them again last year. Like actually read them, paid attention to them, really gave a shit, and I liked them a lot more than I remember liking them. It is a very big deal. George is now so subtly gesturing and scratching his Scott Pilgrim tattoo on his shoulder. Very subtle, but I very recently, basically what I'm saying is that I very recently got a new appreciation for them. And I am excited, and I do agree with a lot of what you're saying. I think the conclusion that you and I have come to is we sort of have to take the comics and the movie as separate entities, where the movie is good, very good. I very much enjoy it. I think it's I don't know if it's if it's my favorite Edgar Wright, but it's certainly a very good Edgar Wright.
It's entertaining.
It's a very good Edgar Wright.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
You have to, when you're talking about Edgar Wright, you have to factor in the Cornetto trilogy, a whole bunch of shit that we're not going to get into right now because this is, believe it or not, a music-centered podcast. But
well, he's a music-centered director.
he is sure, but that's not what we're talking about. So you sort of have to take them as separate entities, and I think everything that you're saying is true. But I think I just have a different appreciation for the Scott Pilgrim movie because I watched and appreciated the movie before I fully appreciated the graphic novels. But suffice it to say, we're both very excited, cautiously excited in some cases about.
I do think it'll be way better in terms of because it's a show.
Yes,
it's not a movie.
They're going to give it more time.
Exactly, and I think that's all the movie needed. Yeah. I think the movie could have been really, really something special if they didn't cram 6 books into one.
Yeah,
what is it, like a 90-minute movie? It's not even like a very long one.
Oh yeah, it's like it's very interesting. They sort of. You're sort of never given a chance to breathe in the movie because they are trying to cram so much in. Yeah,
and it's weird because I haven't seen it in a couple of years, so forgive me, but I feel like the whole first third is a really spot-on adaptation of the first book. And then 2 and 3 kind of get a little rushed, but then 4, 5, and 6 are just like, nah, it's just, bang, bang, bang. Let's just get it through. So.
It's I'm trying to explain it. It's a very much different thing where, like, the main thrust of the back half of the books is, spoiler alert for I think a 23-year-old graphic novel series. The main thrust of the second half of the book is Scott recovering from breaking up with Ramona.
The whole depression arc. That's the best part.
That's the whole thing.
That is the best part.
And in the movie, the breakdown of him breaking up with Ramona, literally, I don't even think it takes 30 minutes.
No,
I think it's the last 25 of the movie, if.
Dude, Nega Scott,
who I will say.
Come on.
Okay, no, I'm agreeing with you. The resolution between him and Nega Scott is a very funny, false.
It's funny.
It's a false flag and it's very funny.
But it's not, it shouldn't be funny.
It's
in the books, it's like the most powerful,
but it's not
character building,
right.
defining
You're
moment.
Right.
The whole,
you're right.
Off topic.
You're 100%
way too long. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good time. Glad the cast is coming back. How's your week been?
It was good. Saw Bottoms. Was very funny. Marshawn Lynch makes a Holocaust denier joke.
You saw Bottoms?
I did.
I'm looking at one right now.
You felonious little prick. You thief. All right, we're not going to get in. I'm going to get very, very frustrated if I start talking about what just happened here in the studio space today, which I thought was a safe space, and I guess I was under the impression. So instead, I'm going to give you a different anecdote that I thought on the way here, you little bitch. So, one thing I do want to say. And this is we will start talking about music very soon, I promise. I want to make one very quick and very clear. Shut up.
Your rebuttal to me calling you a bottom is you saying that you thought this was a safe space.
I thought this was a very safe space.
That makes it sound like
George, I don't really fucking care.
I know you don't care. I'm just saying you're digging yourself a deeper hole by making it sound more suspicious.
Oh, you know all about digging a deeper hole. So the point is this.
That makes it sound even worse.
No, I meant that you're a bottom. I didn't mean what you guys, you sickos, you fucking freaks listening to this. I'm not talking about sex.
Bottoms aren't the ones digging holes.
I'm very well aware of what a bottom does, and it's not important why I'm well aware of what a bottom does. I'm a Christian. So the point is this.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. We're going to be here. This is why we got off topic, in the quote unquote episode that we quote unquote did.
What episode?
So the point is this. The message I would like to say that I was on my way here. If you are someone, and I'm gonna get real close to the mic, and I'm really gonna look off into the middle distance like I'm on my preacher shit. As a Christian man, at the First Baptist Church of Lyon.
Oh, yeah. You tried.
Yeah, France.
Keep it going.
Yeah, so a very special message. If you are someone in this state who drives like an asshole, who does not use your blinker, who drives very, very quickly at 11:45 p.m. On highways, very, very close to civilization. It's not important whose experience that is. If you are one of those people, I'm not going to say in words what I look forward to, as this is potentially going to go over the airwaves. What I will say to you is the sound and the crashing and crinkling of the metal of your cars against another one very violently is going to be music to my ears. And I very, very eagerly look forward to it. It is pornography to me, the thought of you getting into a car crash. I don't like you. You suck. I fucking hate you. That was to the GMC Suburban that did not have a blinker on and freaked me the fuck out today at a red light. So, George, I believe it is. Well, how was your week?
Speaking of pornography, I watched X, that horror movie that came out last year with Mia Goth and Jenna Ortega, and Kid Cudi.
Mia Goth and Jenna. Oh, I don't think I watched it. I do think I.
Are you familiar with it though?
I heard about the Kid Cudi thing.
Because I heard good things about it, and I know they have like a sequel that came out the same year, or a prequel, and they have a sequel coming out next year.
Is that the one with Yes, I did not watch it, but I know what you're talking about.
Dude, phenomenal.
Really?
To quote the late great Al Pacino, what a picture.
Alive, but yeah, cool.
Well, we'll see by the time I get done editing this.
Let's not wish that into the world.
Wish shit.
Let's not put the
I'm
energy.
preparing.
Let's not
just
put
in
the
case.
energy. I don't care. Let's not put the energy out
I
there.
love Al Pacino. I have Italian blood in me. He's like our Christopher Columbus.
Christopher Columbus was Italian, wasn't he?
Yeah, but we don't.
Okay, yeah, no. you shouldn't. I'm just, Amerigo Vespucci is your fucking Christopher Columbus. He's actually Italian and actually, like, the country's named after him.
All right, nerd. All right. Let me enjoy Al Pacino. Okay.
I'm letting you. It's just I'm saying you put the energy out there that you want him to
Anyway,
die.
this movie's phenomenal.
Is it really?
I'm a big horror fan. This
Yes.
might be the best, in terms of just like raw quality, the best slasher movie I've ever seen. It is phenomenal. It is like...
Not overly gory, not overly...
No, it's a fun time. It's a horror movie.
Yeah.
People die.
Sure.
People die in brutal ways.
Sure.
But it's got that energy about it where it's not like, it doesn't make you feel bad about being alive. It doesn't make you sick or anything.
Though you do have a love for those sorts of movies too.
I do. But it kind of has like that, that Scream or that like Friday the 13th energy about it where it's like, yeah, people are going to die and I'm going to watch people scream and cry and get murdered. But like, it's kind of in a fun way.
Yeah.
One thing I will say about it, and by the way, the cinematography, incredible.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting that at all for a horror movie. It's like
Yeah.
a photographer directed that. It is beautiful.
Love that.
Absolutely crazy. And I think the whole thing was on film, or at least it looked like the whole thing was on film.
Very cool.
Super cool.
Very cool.
Super cool. Please watch that soon because it was phenomenal.
I'll have
The
a book
movie
report.
is extremely horny for Kid Cudi. And I didn't know Kid Cudi was in the movie. I like Kid Cudi's music. Decent guy. He might pop up here sometime. Didn't know he was in the movie. And he plays a porn star in the 70s. So I see Kid Cudi with like this...
Speaking of pornography.
This like porn star getup,
Shit.
they show him naked probably like half the time.
Is he
he's on
hanging
screen.
dong?
He's hanging dong.
He's hanging dong?
They show hanging dong.
Dude.
He also has 3 sex scenes.
Kudos.
3
Kudos.
with a different woman.
Kudos. Well, cool.
I mean, it's a porn star. Fill in the blanks. But like, and
he sure did.
yeah, and they make him funny. He's comic relief sometimes. They also make him cool. He's like an ex-Marine character. And so, I'm like, why is this movie so horny for Kid Cudi? They're showing off his body all the time. They're showing off how cool he is, how strong he is, how like effective he is. Spoiler, Kid Cudi dies. It's a slasher movie. People die. And he dies off screen. So you don't even see Kid Cudi get like mutilated. You know what I mean?
That's very odd.
And I'm like, this is so weird. This is so bizarre. Usually in slasher movies, they have like hot people in them, but they're always like, they die.
Yeah.
Because that's what a slasher movie is. You mix the sex appeal with the murder.
Yeah.
It's a balance. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, you can be in this movie and you can be super hot and you can have the audience gawk over you, but at some point, the audience is also going to witness you getting stabbed to death or something. You know what I mean? It's part of the fun.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is so bizarre. And then the movie ended, and I saw executive producer Scott Mescudi. He's the top name in the list of executive producers. And I'm like, okay.
So for people listening who might not know, I believe that's Kid Cudi's actual name.
That is Kid Cudi's
That's
actual
Kid
name.
Cudi. Okay, great.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, that's why. That's why Kid Cudi has 3 different sex scenes with 3 different women. That's why they gave him a huge prosthetic dong.
You don't see him die.
That's why he dies, but you don't get an actual visual of dead Kid Cudi, so that Twitter can't run off with, clips of Kid Cudi being stabbed or whatever. And I'm like, all right, if that's the cost of this movie being made was Kid Cudi to masturbate all over it for a little bit, then I'll take it.
No.
I'll take it.
No.
Good movie though.
Yeah.
Good picture.
One day we will discuss at length the Scream franchise. All of them. We will discuss it at some point.
Absolutely.
It cannot be now because this intro has gone longer than I intended initially. How far in are we?
We are 13 minutes in, my brother.
That's actually not that bad. We will not do a Scream thing. Have you watched? This is the last thing, and then I believe it's your serve to go.
No, it's your serve.
No, it's you. Fuck, it is, isn't it? I keep forgetting that certain things live in certain parts of the universe that no longer exist. So we'll unpack that later. Have you seen all the Scream movies?
No, I haven't seen any of them.
What the fuck?
Isn't that fucking weird?
George,
I've seen all the Friday the 13th movies.
George, this I haven't, so we can do a sort of exchange of ideas if you want, like we're on the Silk Road. But the main thing that I want to do, even you can watch it with me, without me, I don't care.
I'd love to watch it with you, brother.
We gotta do the Scream movies. I want you to go through the journey because I've seen all the Scream movies twice through.
Jenna Ortega's in the new one, right?
The two newest ones.
Dude, she has a Scream and X. It might be like the best horror movie Scream I've ever seen. Does she have good screams in Scream? I would hope.
I mean, you fucking have to, right? I mean, she's great. What I will say about the Scream movies, and then we will start talking about music. What I will say about the Scream movies is, the franchise starts off really well, and then it's pretty good, and then it's meh, and then it's worse, and then it's and then the most recent one, I think I just charted all of them. The most recent one is possibly the best Scream movie made. It's possibly the best Scream movie made. Not even, like, including the first one. It's not the best Scream sequel. It might be the best Scream movie. That's my personal stake.
Think so?
It brought I watched it with a group of friends, and we watched the first one, and there was a pretty decent sized amount of people. Watched the second one, there was a slightly smaller sized group of people. Watched the third one, there were very few of us. It was dwindling. Watched the next one, even less. Watched the next one, even less. And the most recent Scream movie, there was 4 of us that watched it. It dwindled from a pack of, I believe, 7 to 4 or 3. And we watched the most recent one, and it was so good that my friends now want to see it in theaters when the next one comes out. It really,
you guys are super fans, though.
It brought them back. It revitalized the series, and I can say that because it revitalized my friends' interest in a movie series that they did not want to watch. Oh, wow. So.
And we're back. Minor technical difficulty. Dude, listen to this. That's a good fucking scream, right? Mm. That's a damn good scream.
Yeah,
Anyway, that's my first song for the week.
He started playing that, and I was like, he's not even going to intro his first song, and then I was like, that's a woman screaming. That was a good scream. That
was from X, by the way.
I think it's cool that there's a new generation of scream queens happening, and I like that we can bring that phrase back. I think that's very cool.
Absolutely.
Because it was Neve Campbell for a very long time.
Yeah.
All right, we ready?
Shall we? Yeah.
Do you get served or do I get served?
You get served, my brother.
I'm going to serve first. So, my friends, we can totally hear George typing.
Oh shit, my ringer's on. That is my phone connected to the audio mixer here because I am playing the songs off of my phone.
This is how the sausage gets made,
we're
folks.
Keeping it in.
We're keeping it in.
This is a little glimpse behind the curtain at the old sausage factory here.
So, my friends, we are going to start off. This is a song from 2019 from a self-titled debut studio record from Arizona-based hip-hop group, Arizona and hip-hop in the same sentence. Everyone take a shot. This is their first studio record following 3 mixtapes. Their only record on Lorna Vista Records, I believe. We will get more into their background because I feel it important to give sort of a real introduction to them once we start. But this, my friends, is 3-Man Weave by Injury Reserve. See you on the other side. So, my friends, that was, as I said, 3-Man Weave by Injury Reserve off of their debut self-titled record.
What's it called?
It's fucked up that I almost answered you. So, it's their first and only record on Lorna Vista, I believe.
Oh, good.
Because in 2020, tragically, Steppa Groggs passed in 2020 at the age of 32. That was, the last release that they used Injury Reserve for was By the Time I Get to Phoenix, which was very experimental. It was also supposedly mostly complete before Groggs passed at 32. The name was Groggs' suggestion, apparently, and they just decided to keep it in honor of him. They stopped performing under that name. They now perform under the name By Storm, B-Y Storm.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, so...
Good namings, these guys.
Yeah, they have they have one solo. They have one single rather released under that name so far. I have not given it a listen yet. I'm sure it's fucking wonderful because they are fucking wonderful. Injury Reserve was a 3-man team consisting of Parker Corey, the producer, Richie with a T, and Groggs. So they were brought together by Richie with a T, who met Corey through a mutual friend when looking for a producer in high school. Richie met Groggs in middle school when he was working at a Foot Locker in Phoenix, Arizona, of all places. Again, I cannot stress to you enough how funny it is that these three formed a rap trio in Phoenix, fucking Arizona. That's
the coolest place
so
for it.
funny. It's such a funny place for it though. So the main things that I love about the song, I think you and I will agree on this. I love rap songs that feature saxophone and jazz elements. Fucking love it. It's one of the biggest reasons why Tribe Called Quest sits right atop my favorite rap groups of all time list. I don't know if they're my favorite, but they're 1A or 1B with Wu-Tang, depending.
Yeah.
Love rap samples, love jazzy elements. You feel classy.
I was gonna say that sample was killer.
That
Shit was beautiful, man.
My note here literally just says, you just feel classy, baby.
Yeah.
You really do. So I love rap groups, too, that genuinely feel like pals. You know what I mean? Like, the thing about Wu-Tang, a lot of the time, Wu-Tang just feels like a bunch of superheroes and supervillains getting together, and they feel like friends. But it's very much like this is an all-star game. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
It's an all-star game. And these guys feel like buddies. From the way they met, from the way they talk about each other. They talk about, when I was in high school, I wanted to be a basketball player.
Yeah.
And now me and my two pals are just going through life together. We're 3-man weaving. They talk about themselves as a super team or a big 3. Sports reference. I know you don't get that. So,
Hey, I know a sport.
and
Or
not-
two.
Oh, dude, we'll talk. So, the verses are so fun. They're bouncy. The chorus is so fucking catchy.
It's a good chorus,
So
man. That shit
fucking
was tight.
catchy. So, Injury Reserve, 3-man weave. My first pick of the week. How did you feel about that? Let me get
It
your
was
thoughts.
beautiful.
Yes.
I mean, I said this already, but like, yeah, that jazzy sample, crazy. Like, it sounds very. I was expecting something more experimental from them.
Yeah.
Because the only times I've tried to dip into Injury Reserve, sorry, I'm far away from the mic. I got to lean into this.
Make yourself comfortable, baby.
Yeah. My only dip of the toe into the great public pool that is Injury Reserve was by the time I get to Phoenix. And I initially bounced off it just because I couldn't grab on to the sound. I was also listening to it in a weird environment, I think. It was like other stuff going on. I tried to put it on as like background music, which wasn't a good idea. And there's a few songs by them that I've heard here and there, like HPNC, I believe is one of them that has like a JPEG Mafia feature on it. And I think that's how I heard it. It came up in like a daily mix or something. But I didn't know they were hiding away these little jazzy raps. I didn't know they were stuffing this in the cubby for me to dig out. You know, this sounds like some late registration beat. This sounds like some old like, oh, dude, put like a nice drum on this and have it just be like a mellowed out boom bap sample. Ooh, like
Yeah.
I was really impressed by it, and I've never heard the 3 of these guys. Like I couldn't tell you right now if you asked me who was who.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with the group enough to distinguish the characters from one another. But yeah, I was impressed by everybody. I don't think there was a single verse that I felt was sleepy or took me out of it. It was just a constant. It was almost like the sample in a way where it just kept the momentum going, but almost in a chill way. It was like it catches you immediately and then you coast on it for a bit.
Right. One of the things that I think you can really... First of all, I think you should listen to the self-titled. I think you should listen to the self-titled, and then I think you should listen to Floss, which is their most famous like mixtape.
So the album self-titled, you said?
The self-title...
What's that called?
Dickhead. It's called Dickhead. Yeah. The songs that you probably will recognize from it... The song you're referring to is GTFU.
GTFU?
GTFU is the JPEG Mafia song you're talking about.
No, it's
That's the one...
HPNGC. That's what it was.
shit.
I was missing a G.
So,
But is there another one?
that's the one on the self-title.
Oh, okay.
What's that called? So I think that you should check the self-title out. I think you should check Floss out too. What I would say is I've always been a semi-casual Injury Reserve fan. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm like their biggest fan. I have friends who have been like in love with them. Like I think my friend Joe listened to By the Time I Get to Phoenix like a million times in 2021 when it came out. I think that or in 2020, 2021, I believe. So I think that listening to their earlier stuff will really give you an appreciation for By the Time I Get to Phoenix, which is a much more, as you've said, a much more experimental album. Yeah, man, I don't know. That is the final track on that record, and I will say it is...
That's the outro?
That is the outro.
Woo!
So it's a very interesting note to finish on because it is easily the jazziest song on that record.
Yeah.
Easily the jazziest. That said, they have this... I can't even explain it. They're very much not like anything else because they're right in between super experimental and like pretty down the line on this record, where you can listen to this as a casual fan. Like there's songs on here that I think most people could listen to if they're fans of fucking
fans of fucking.
If they're fans of fucking, especially, but if they're
Good
fans
sex
of
music,
if they're
three guys rapping over jazz, that's that's what I want to clap cheeks to.
Very sexual. It's very, very good. I really like this record. The tragedy of Injury Reserve is obviously the very premature passing of Groggs. Very, very premature. 32. They have not announced a cause of death even to this day, and I don't feel that they should ever.
Yeah, no, there's no need.
But very, very tragic. But it's cool that they got the album out because it was mostly done. It's cool that they named it for Groggs, more or less. It's very, very cool. Much more experimental. It was at such a time in their history where it really did kind of feel like when they were at their lowest, they created their weirdest shit. And it's the question that I have marked down, the possible question I have marked down, and I'm very curious how you feel about this. If you were in a band and a member passed, do you think it's best to rebrand or to carry on the name as a testament to their legacy? Because this is not unprecedented territory, unfortunately. There's the most notable one, and the one that comes to mind immediately to me as a Nirvana fan, even though Nirvana was, depending on who you ask, Nirvana was probably on the way to breaking up before the tragic passing of Kurt Cobain. But I feel as though they're the best template of it, where when Kurt Cobain died, Nirvana was done.
Yeah.
Done. Yeah. So I'm very curious how you feel about that, actually.
I mean, I tend to agree with that. I understand from a business perspective, it's not always the best idea to rebrand because, you're going to lose some people along the way, especially the more casual listener who might not be aware that, there was a name change or a stylistic change or something like that. But, yeah, because even bands where people don't die necessarily, but like the lead singer changes or some major player factor thing switches, it's always like, it just muddies it.
Yeah.
Because, it's the same thing when, you really like an album or a band, but then you have to disassociate it from whatever has been going on recently with the album or person or band. Take a Kanye, for example.
I knew you were going to bring up Kanye. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the most recent extreme example where it's like, are there good songs from the early 2000s and stuff? Yeah. Is it difficult to associate that with the person he's become today? Yeah, and I know that's completely different from the question you've asked, but bands where singers have changed, directions have changed, sometimes for the better, sometimes it leads to really good shit, take a Pink Floyd, for example, I Wish You Were Here. That shit's awesome.
Which I cannot guarantee Pink Floyd will never appear on this podcast. I cannot guarantee.
Yeah, no, me neither.
I love Pink Floyd.
Me neither. But I don't know. This is a very roundabout way to not answer your question, but I think it's a case by case thing. It really, in this case, I mean, I haven't been educated in the makings of Injury Reserve, but the way you described it, it sounds like this was the right thing to do.
Yes, I think so.
If it was this much of a personal passion project, then
I think so. So yeah, because I think and we won't talk too much longer on this because the note we made is to not be to be much more succinct. So we're going to be much more succinct.
Yes.
The closing statements I will have is that this song fucks. This album fucks. Do yourself a favor, you, my friend, sitting across the table from me, and everyone, all five of you, or possibly less, who could be listening. Or more. Oh, let's not be brave. Who might be listening at home. Listen to Injury Reserve. If you liked that at all, if you liked the way they sounded, if you liked the energy they brought, they have a very fun, pseudo-sarcastic, pseudo-self-aware, but not in a cringy way. They do this thing, They do this thing where they're towing the line of being super experimental, but they never go too far off the line until you get to By the Time I Get to Phoenix.
They reserve the injury.
Which is a sports term.
Wow.
Yeah, right. So very, very fun. Listen to Injury Reserve. Do yourself a fucking favor.
And by storm.
Very excited to see where they go next.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're starting to feel very much on. By the time I get to Phoenix, they're starting to feel very much like a Sloss and Malone. Do you know Sloss and Malone?
I'm aware of a Sloss and Malone.
Sloss and Malone. Very fun, very bizarre. Creator speak. Very, very cool. All right, George. It is now your turn. What is your first song of the week, my friend?
All right, we were talking about horror movies earlier.
We were.
Horror movies earlier. Those all came out in a mush.
Horror.
Talking about horror movies.
We're talking about horror movies. Horror movies.
Something about the fall. I know are we technically in fall yet? I don't.
Not yet. September 21st.
Yeah, I figured it was late.
15 days.
I can never memorize the fucking season changes.
Usually they happen on the 21st because those are the equinoxes.
Oh, that's an easy way of putting it, my man. I never thought of it that way. I always just knew them as like 3 weeks later than what you'd expect.
The autumnal equinox is September 21st.
Yeah, like I think when I was a kid, I just associated like, oh, September, fall.
Yes.
December, winter.
Yeah.
But it's actually like, oh no, December 21st. September 21st. I'm like, oh,
December 21st, the shortest day of the year?
Wow.
I think.
You're just a wealth of knowledge.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Fall.
That's the solstice. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I associate horror with fall.
I agree. Makes sense.
I mean, yeah, it does make sense. Everything's dying, Halloween, all that shit. Weirdly enough, I also associate 80s music with the fall. And that might be some carryover from the horror thing because, all the best horror stuff came out in the 80s and a lot of those movies have those famous 80s songs in them. So I have a feeling it's a bit of residue from that. But we had a cold week last week. This week I've been fucking pissed off because it's back to being wet and gross and stinky.
Yeah.
But last week was really nice. It was chilly. And when it gets chilly, I bring out the synth. That's just how I've been.
I love that, yeah.
As soon as I feel a little crisp in the air, I get a little eyes without a face. Ooh, dude.
Yeah.
It hits different. It really feels good to play that 80s when the fall comes out. So I'm in that mood. Mm-hmm. I'm going to play something for you from the 80s. This is Midnight Pretenders by Tomoko Aran. Let's get right into it. Midnight Pretenders.
Ooh.
Tomoko Aran.
Oh, yeah. I'm in.
That was sexy, wasn't it?
I'm sold.
Dude. 83?
Yep.
83? That's again Tomoko Aran, Midnight Pretenders from an album that I can't pronounce because that is in Japanese. I'm assuming that's Japanese.
It probably is.
Yeah. Dude, the Japanese, they make good 80s music.
Yeah.
Not something I would expect.
It's very interesting. I feel like I don't know the history of Japanese music and stuff, but I feel as though a lot of the very, very fun, ethereal music does happen to come out of Japan.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure. I think Ichiko Aoba is Japanese. I don't know that for sure. Yeah, she is. So a lot of very fun stuff. But yeah, give me your thoughts. Your song. Give me your thoughts first.
Oh, dude. It's so spacey.
Yes.
It captures this, and a lot of 80s music does this, but I feel like this song in particular kind of has the best elements of it. And maybe that's because I can't understand 75% of the words. So I'm forced to focus more on the sound of it, the music. But it just feels like we're going through a cityscape. Yeah. It feels like we're in Ghost of the Shell or some shit. Or Blade Runner or something. Just like some fast car that looks weird driving down this really neon lit street. Inside is a dude with a leather jacket 3 sizes too small, a little bump of coke on his fig, and like way too many backup pairs of sunglasses. You know what I mean? Like this is, God, something about that era just screams to me. And I think this song kind of captures the sexiness of it perfectly. It's just the combination of these really futuristic sounds and synths and atmosphere, but also combined with like these really melodic like pluckings and the way that the instruments drip in, it sounds like little water droplets hitting a little puddle or something, but in the puddle are the neon signs and all the 80s stereotypes you can think of, and just it screams fall.
It does.
It screams like early nights and edginess.
Yeah.
But in a sexy way. And that's what I think I find most appealing about it, is it has darkness, it has edge, but it does it so seductively.
It's a very sexy song.
So seductively.
It's very sexy.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I mean, everything you just fucking said for sure. It's sexy is definitely the word to describe it. Spacey and sexy are the words. I think I heard I think that was a pan flute I fucking heard in there.
I believe it.
I don't know what the fuck is up with the 80s and using pan flute in their synth pop music, but I am a fan.
That's what I mean.
That shit's awesome.
That's what I mean.
That shit's
It's
awesome.
like, I mean, again, it's the 80s. That was 40 years ago now.
Oh, Jesus,
So
this is a 40-year-old song. You're right.
you know, it kind of has a vintage sound to it at this point.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, to kind of put yourself in that headspace, mixing these back then modern futuristic sounds with a sort of more like tribal earthy sound, such as like a pan flute, or even some like other 80s songs I know have like bongos in them mixed with synths, or like kazoos. Fucking
I fuck with that era of music and that genre of music that sounds like the background to a commercial about like Apple computers.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
exactly.
I know that that's like kind of a stereotype to put in on this music, but I feel I've had an interesting journey with synth music. There was a very long time where I couldn't fucking stand the sound of a synth. I couldn't stand it.
Oh, I'm so glad that's not now. We can be friends.
Brother, I hate it. I hated it for a long time, but I like the song a lot. Just as you said, that was the quickest you've added a song to your playlist. As soon as, basically from the word go, I added this song to my playlist as well. This is a lovely song. Her voice is very, very, her voice slides in between this very interesting atmosphere she's created where it feels as though, as you said, it's a very chilly atmosphere that you get from the song. It's a very dark and edgy song. It's a song that feels very much like leaves flowing in the wind, and her voice is like carrying the instruments in the wind. Like the instruments are if I can get very, very visceral,
Please do.
Her voice is the breeze, and the instruments are sort of the leaves that are being flown around by it. It feels like they're following her lead. It's very interesting. It's awesome. It's very fall time. It makes you want to pick up a bunch of red leaves and swallow them whole. God, am I excited for fall.
Yeah, right?
Exactly.
It's the voice that never overpowers. It never comes in. It never really. She does pick it up for the hook, but it never sounds like it's picking up too far. You know, it's almost just like this climax of nostalgia or longing, as opposed to like this huge outburst of emotion, and it kind of keeps in tune with the consistency of the whole record. Mm-hmm. Really beautiful shit.
That's great. I love it. Yeah, shit. I fucking love me a synthwave song. I fucking love it. It puts you in a late night mood. Synthwave is late night music.
I'm a night owl, so
You and me both, sister.
I love staying in the nighttime mood.
It's a very November Rain song.
Ooh.
It's a very November Rain song. Yes.
Also, album cover fucks.
That album cover is very fun. All right.
What's next, brother?
All right. So my friend, from a very, very cool and soft world, I now bring you into a louder and slightly more abrasive world. So I have a song in here.
I don't like the way you're laughing. I'm nervous.
No, don't be nervous. It's a
louder, abrasive world.
Anything would be more loud and abrasive than what we just played. To be fair,
don't know.
It was a very soft song. So okay, regardless. So let's
go.
This is from a band that I found a couple years ago, but recently got back into this album. Mm-hmm. This is a 2021 song from your favorite place in the world, Baltimore, Maryland-based hardcore punk band. Yes,
really?
sir.
Baltimore. I just spent some time in Baltimore, and I wish I didn't.
Yeah. Well, and so this is the major note I want to give about this before we get right into it, and we are going to get right into it. This, my friends, is what I am going to define, and this could be a recurring phrase on this show because I'm very, very much about my music and how it makes me feel about people. This, my friends, this is hot people music. And what I mean by that is if I see you listening to this, I don't need to see your face. I don't need to hear you talk. I assume that you're a hot person if you listen to this. I mean that dead seriously. This, my friends.
What kind of hot we talking?
Hot. I don't know. What do you mean?
Like when you say that someone's a hot person when they listen to this,
I think
saying that just by listening to this, they're blessed with this unstoppable attraction from Kobe.
Unstoppable
Or is it
attraction makes
more of
no. It's
like
okay.
a-
So hold on.
More of like a hot,
He's
like,
trying-
oh, you're cool. Like, I
So-
really want to be around you, and that
So-
kind of beaming this.
Mostly the second thing.
Okay.
Mostly the second thing. I think you have a very cool, hot, attractive personality if you're into this fucking shit.
Right.
Moreover, in my experience with fans of this group and this album, if you're into this group and this album, you're probably really good looking. That's my feeling. That's my feeling, and that's a statement on the general populace. I'm not going to.
It's a bold claim.
I'm going to rebuke my compatriot's first statement where he said an unstoppable attraction from Kobe, which makes me sound like an animal. It's not like that. It's just
Okay to be an animal, brother.
I'm not doing this with you right now, my man. I'm just saying this, my friends, this is Blackout by Turnstile off of their 2021 record, Glow On. We are back.
We are back.
We are back, my friend. No time has passed. No technical difficulties here.
Nothing happened. It's actually insane how perfect we are executing this right now.
George and I simply sat here as two stick figures staring each other in the eyes, gracefully listening to this music, in sync with the timing. It is not as though 20 minutes has passed at all.
Never.
So
Never, never, never.
now okay. So now
Are you familiar with those TikToks?
never.
Are those TikToks? I don't even know. I don't have TikTok. I've never had TikToks.
You sound so
but
fucking old.
Fucking Aki, the Aki way. That shit. It's like a bodega or some shit in like New York.
No, I fucking avoided those. Those were annoying.
Really?
Yeah, annoying.
Oh, those used to bring me such peace. They don't anymore.
Yeah. Now your life's spiraling.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been a 3-year-long manic phase as we speak,
Yep.
and not even Aki can break me from it.
Yeah. These walls are covered in his shit right now. That's how manic he's been.
That's blood, baby.
So this song that we just listened to, my friends. So as I said before we started listening to it, again, no 20-minute interlude. As we spoke about it before, a slight step up in energy and volume, let's say, shall we?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Kick things right back.
So-
which is not what I was expecting
No.
from the album cover.
no.
Because this album cover is pretty.
Well, here we
It's a
go.
little- it's a bunch of little clouds, pink, it's hazy.
You set me up so well, my
I'm
friend.
setting
Can I
you
tell
up.
you why?
Absolutely.
So this, my friends, you might have heard me say, I hope you heard me say at the beginning of this is a Baltimore-based hardcore punk band.
Yeah, baby.
Now, here's the cool thing about this song, or this album as a whole. This is their first full-length album, or this is their most... Yeah, so this is their first full-length album in 6 years. This is their second full-length album. Their first one, let me find the name of it. The first one was called Nonstop Feeling. It has a much more in-your-face, not generic, but down-the-line hardcore punk feel, right? This, my friends, fuses hardcore punk with, drum roll please, dream pop. Dream pop. There are some songs on this where they collab with Blood Orange.
I love Blood Orange.
They collab with Blood Orange.
Speaking back to that song with Injury Reserve and JPEG, Blood Orange is also on that.
I almost brought a Blood Orange and Turnstile song, but I wanted you.
No, I fucked that up. I'm sorry. That's Code Orange I'm thinking of.
It's okay. I forgive you.
What am I going to do, man?
It's okay, man.
What am I going to do?
We all have slip ups, you know?
You know what, though? Blood Orange collabed with Danny Brown. It's a close enough connection.
Yeah, they're
Anyway,
so
I'm done interrupting you, please.
So this is a hardcore punk and dream pop song. This song itself sort of fuses a lot of those elements, and you can hear it because some of the drums in this are just straight up cowbell, but some of the drums in the song entirely, if you can listen under the fucking amazing buzzsaw guitars, because they sound like buzzsaws, they're awesome. You can listen, you can hear a very specific and interesting drum moment. You can hear the reverb on the drum. It sounds like an entirely different element. And when the voice fades out and like there's this echoing effect and shit, oh my God, you need to listen to this album, if only because you can listen to this song and there are some really in-your-face, awesome, catchy as hell hardcore songs. And then you'll get a song where it's legitimately just the lead singer singing and from a distance, and there's no instrumentation beyond some reverb, and it's a sparse drum sound. You sound like you're in the middle of a lake, actually. You sound like you're in the middle of like a big pool of water, and it's just him screaming from like maybe like a quarter mile out, and you just hear a distant drum, and it's fucking awesome. If you liked anything about that, the space here elements, the buzzsaw elements, any of it, if you liked anything, any second of that song, I beg you to listen to Glow On. That album is fucking awesome. I am a sucker, by the way, for cathartic scream moments in a song, and that chorus is so goddamn good. I literally will be driving and I'll sit in my car and I will scream that song at the top of my lungs. Doesn't matter where I am. The Turnstile's big thing, because this is a big departure. They're much more of a hardcore band than they are a dream pop band. But on this album specifically, they are all about bending genre lines. They are all about questioning what can hardcore punk be, because hardcore punk as a whole, at least in the early days of it and up to a point, hardcore punk is very A to B. Everyone sort of gets the idea. You play loud, you play fast, and you play hard, and you're done with a set in like 25 minutes. That's their first full-length album is 27 minutes long. It's like 14 songs, I think. It's 27 minutes. So this is a large, girthy, awesome, well thought out, great product. I wouldn't say that you're going to listen to it and look for super deep lyrical meaning. I think they probably have some stuff in there that is very lyrical, but it's very choice. Again, I'm sort of tripping over my words because I just have such a deep love for this song and this album. I got into it again recently. If you have anything in that song that struck you, that hit you, if it was the buzzsaw guitars, if it was the fucking random cowbell, if it was the reverb, if it was the idea that you, even on a sick and twisted, perverted level, want to hear what a dream pop, hardcore punk record sounds like, and who amongst us fucking doesn't?
I was thinking that just last night, actually. I was wondering if I could find a hardcore punk dream pop album.
Right. You got to listen to this record.
That's such an interesting fusion, though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I love shit like that. Are there any songs on the record where the two genres kind of overlap on the same song? Or is it more of like the album as a whole is the overlap and the songs kind of jump back and forth?
The first one that comes to mind when you say that is the song, ironically, right after Blackout, that sort of fades. You can hear it a bit at the end. It fades into it.
Yeah.
The song after Blackout is a song called Don't Play. And I would say it's similar to Blackout in how like fast it is and how hard the guitars are. But the chorus is like, the chorus is the repeated line, don't play. And it's like much more wavy. Like it almost sounds like he's waving in his delivery of it. It's like it's almost like he's going in and out of it like this, but it sounds a lot better than that. It's very good. There's a piano line in that song, like a fast as fuck like fucking Great Balls of Fire piano line.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. This song itself, I'm pretty sure had no, that's the next song I'm thinking of. Don't Play does it. There are relatively hard lines between some of them. Like the spaciest songs on this record, the ones that are very clearly more dream pop than they are, if it's a percentage thing, more dream pop than hardcore punk, are Alien Love Call, Turnstile, and Blood Orange. That was the song that I was listening to this record and I was like, oh yeah, it's a really good, really strong hardcore punk record. And then Alien Love Call came on. I was sitting in class. I was sitting in a class that Sklar was teaching, actually. I was sitting in there and I was listening. And this song came on, and I legitimately thought that Spotify fucked up and was playing a different record. I was like, what the f-?
How dare Spotify?
Oh, yeah.
Fuck with your flow?
A perfect app. So I was listening to that, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And it was great, but I was like, what the? And then I was like, this is the same fucking record? And then I got to the very end, and Lonely Desires is the last song on this record, also a Blood Orange track, and it's great. I mean, this song is so drifting into like the experimental dream poppy world where the brands mix, that the band this year had a small snippet of those songs re-released and slightly modified and edited with the band Bad Not Good.
I've heard of Bad Not Good.
Experimental
I actually
jazz.
hear they're quite good.
They are very quite good. An experimental sort of jazz fusion, dreamy, poppy sort of thing. I don't even know how to really define them. It's 3 songs listed as a single. It's fine. I mean, I think Alien Love Call does well on it. I got to listen to it again before I give a strong opinion on it. It's fine in my memory. But in any event, that's just to tell you how far into that world it drifts. I cannot recommend this album enough. Listen to that. Listen to fucking Time and Space. Listen to Nonstop Feeling.
Take notes, people.
I mean, there will be an exam. Yeah, you got to listen to this record. This song fucks. I don't even have a really great question because I was just so fucking. I was jamming out with my clam out. I love this fucking thing.
Jamming out with my clam out.
Yeah, have you ever heard that?
Elaborate.
Jam out with your clam out. Never heard that?
Define that for me.
It's the B side to Rock Out with Your Cock Out.
I guess that makes sense.
I'm sensing some exasperation.
No, I'm just processing that. I've never heard that before. I can't tell if I like it or not.
I mean,
I was never a big fan of Rock Out with Your Cock Out either. It
Okay.
always just kind of struck me as off. But I guess Jam Out with Your Clam Out is a little bit better. I just wasn't expecting to hear it from you.
I don't know, man.
You are North Shore, so I guess
song-
it applies to you more. But
What the fuck does that mean?
it's a clam.
The North Shore?
Seafood.
Where the fuck are you from? Like East Poughkeepsie? Where are you from talking about the North Shore? What are you talking about? What the fuck? Are you from Louisville, Kentucky?
Do you not want me to dox you? Is that why you're
I don't give
acting
a
this way? Like you are.
The 10 people who listen to this probably know whereabouts I live. I'm not worried about that. I'm more confused why I'm the clam guy to you. I don't get that.
You're closer to the water. Clams come from the water,
All right.
I think. Right?
No,
they're
Jesus,
aquatic
no, they
beings.
come from
They don't
Jesus.
look like
They
fish.
come from Jesus.
Well-
They come from Jesus.
No.
Yes.
No. In the beginning, God created.
He neglected clams.
Oh, and then Jesus came and
Yeah.
invented the clam.
He's like, yo.
He's like, yo,
Let me tell you something.
how about this, right?
In a couple thousand years.
Right. A shell.
In a couple thousand years, the fried clams at land and sea are going to fucking destroy people's
Let's
minds.
make the ugliest, grossest looking fucking thing in the world,
It's
and then
not
put,
the
and then put a
ugliest.
gemstone in the middle of it.
Okay, first of all, the gemstone thing is very funny. Second of
It
all,
is funny.
The thing about it is, I do not think I don't like clams all that much. I don't think they're the ugliest thing.
No,
ever.
I'm exaggerating.
Okay,
here,
thank
but they are pretty fucking ugly.
They are. I'm not gonna deny that.
They sell them at like weird hippie stores. Have you ever seen those?
Yeah. Well,
They're so fucking weird.
I mean, I guess, but
You walk into a store and it's in a box with like a tiger on it or like a jaguar or a fucking elephant or something and all these like beautiful floral designs. And then you see this little like plastic petri dish with water in it and there's a clam. And you're like, here, you can pay $10 for the privilege to rip this thing in half and take out its innards and put it into a necklace.
Yeah, we're a barbaric people. What is making a lobster? You have to buy them alive and kill them yourself. You boil them alive. It's a barbaric people.
But yummy.
I'm not going to sit here and argue that point, but I'm sitting here and telling you that it's barbaric all the way through.
But yummy and buttery and they taste good in bread.
Spoken like someone who's never had the clam strips from land and sea. Thank you.
I've
very much.
never ate clam in my life.
Your girlfriend must be miserable. Oh! Let's go. What's your next song?
There's such a part of me that wants to rebuttal that statement, but I also don't want to have my voice on air arguing about the fact that I eat clam.
That's a secret that you can take to your grave, my friend.
I guess. Anyway. I'm going down one way, huh?
I didn't get it. That's nice. I like that.
Anyway, yeah, so the fall, it really...
I love it.
No, I'm kidding. I'm not kidding, though, because all of my songs this week are somewhat fall related. I've just kind of been in the mood I'm in. Very eager to start, throwing on long sleeves, buying cookies, remembering that candles exist and I'm an adult and I can buy my own. But there's many different sides of the fall. We kind of had our synthy 80s fall earlier. Now I kind of want to take it back to like a middle school, like nostalgia fall.
Folks, here is the Monster Mash.
Not like that. Just more of like I don't know. This is a song that, God, I wish I discovered it. I don't even know if it was out. I actually don't know what year this came out. Let me double check. It says 8 years ago on the clip I'm playing here, which if I do the math quickly, that's 2015.
8 years ago?
That is 2015. Yes. So I would have been too old for my prime. No, this says 2008 on Spotify. Wow. Okay. 2009. Holy shit, third time's the charm. Anyway, if I was 9 years old or 10 years old and I heard this would have carried me through middle school, my friend. I heard this for the first time a few months ago, and this was like instantly brought me back to just me being edgy as fuck, just sitting on like a school bus, looking out a rainy window at all the fall leaves and shit, thinking, man, I just want to hold a girl's hand.
Yeah.
I want to know if it feels like my hand. Is it warmer? Is it colder?
Oh no!
Why do girls have painted nails? And why are they all different?
Wow. Wow. We're really walking with this, are we? Wow. Okay.
Anyway, this is my song. This is Misguided Ghosts, Paramore.
I love it. I love it.
All I can think about when I hear that is how happy I would be bent over some geometry homework with that shit blaring in my ears, looking out the window at like people putting up Halloween decorations and shit, thinking about, man, I wish I could hold a girl's hand.
Yeah.
No, Haley Williams would have been a dangerous discovery for me in middle school, that's for sure. But something about it's just so teen angst. And I usually don't like teen angst stuff, which is why I think this caught me so much by surprise. Is like, this is so like Twilight core, so fucking like Life is Strange, so like, you know, that whole era of just having emotions but not even understanding what they are or what to do with them, just being there with it. And I don't know, man, it brought me back. I'm not typically someone who looks back on my younger days as something that I want to relive. You know, I feel like, just me personally, everything before the age of 18 is kind of just like null. You know, just kind of like necessary baby steps to get me to where I was finally conscious suddenly on my 18th birthday. Everything before that was just, you know, tripping around.
Yeah.
But yeah. Like, I don't even have much to say about the actual song itself. It's more so just like the feeling it gives me. It's like it just makes me miss being young. And I did read the lyrics. I do think they're very beautiful. And I could have a much, much, much longer discussion about, you know, all the cool little meanings and tie-ins I found with the lyrics. Typically with like a song of this style, like we talked about, like middle school angst and stuff, you wouldn't expect nothing too poetic out of the lyrics. It's kind of just feeding into like the angst and the edge. But this is pretty fucking good, you know.
Yeah.
Shout out Haley if she wrote this. I'm assuming she did.
Gotta imagine. Let me see. Hold on. I'm on Genius. Give me a second. Credits written by Taylor York, Josh Farrow, and Haley Williams.
There we go. Shout out all three of them.
Shout out all three of them. So yes. So I think that you and I ran. I don't know if you were a pop punk emo kid in middle school. Were you?
That might have been more elementary school for me. In
Elementary school listening to pop punk is crazy to me.
Oh yeah,
that's crazy.
I think the first album I ever bought with an iTunes gift card for my iPod Nano was like Offspring and Green Day.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. So I was very much I was a pop punk emo kid in middle school. Yeah. If you couldn't tell by the everything about me, I went through these weird phases in that time where I was like, I want to listen to what's on the radio, and then I was like getting my own identity, and I was like, I don't really want to listen to the radio anymore.
Fuck the radio, bro. What kind of normie shit is that?
It's a dying breed.
Exactly.
So it was that, and then it was like
start a radio show,
and then hopefully, and then it was like I did that, and then I was like, I want to listen to rap music and shit, which just meant like I heard one Eminem song, and I was like, this is good.
Eminem, Hollywood Undead,
right? And then I was in like an emo phase where I was in my fuck rap phase. Doesn't even matter. And then I sort of started becoming a normal human being with taste, and I didn't need to rule anything else out. So love Paramore, big fan. I think they are. I think now that the dust has begun to settle, I think they are, of those major pop punk emo bands, I think it's fair to say they're probably the biggest winner of that era, mostly for the fact that they are still around. And it's because they were able to sort of move their sound around in such a way that they became a different version of themselves and not what does the radio and music landscape want this band to be, Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco.
Man, I saw Panic at the Disco live last year.
Last year.
Fall Out Boy too. I used to really like a couple of Fall Out Boy songs.
Same.
In school.
I still like the first 3 or 4 Panic at the Disco records. I still do. Yeah. My first purchase of records was Pretty Odd by Panic at the Disco and Plastic Beach. My first vinyl purchases.
I'm completely unfamiliar with Panic at the Disco music.
you're not missing a whole bunch. But so in any event, this
Even though I saw them live, I don't remember a single song.
they're not.
When I say them, I mean Brendan.
Him.
Yeah.
So, no, this is a great song. This is off of their third record. There's a lot of like cuts off of their earlier stuff that even if you're not a big pop punk emo kid, you're gonna be able to fucking appreciate. They have She has they have an interlude on there. I think it's the record just after this. They have a bunch of interludes laced throughout the song where it's just her and a ukulele, very Tumblr middle school core.
Oh yeah.
But there's this song that they have. I keep saying her because it's Hayley Williams and Paramore.
Well, it's her band.
It's she was one of the principal members, but
I think is she the only one that's consistently been there the entire time? That might be a wrong statement.
It's a wrong statement.
Is that a wrong statement?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm trying to.
I know the band's gone through like many changes in terms of like personnel.
Yeah, there's been, so that's not something I'm super familiar with. But she has like a bunch. She has this song on it where she's talking about. There's an interlude towards the end where it's "I'm not angry anymore," and it's just the simple. I'm a big fan of on big records when somewhere in it is just the principal singer and one instrument either accompanying her or something else.
Oh, yeah.
And just going. Like I love piano ballads. I love ukulele songs like that. Even now, I love acoustic guitar rips like this where you can hear the fingers moving up and down the strings. I love that. She has, by the way, she has such an amazing voice. She has like even if you were to take I think when it comes to talking about great singers, we sort of, and this is an argument I've had from years ago, we sort of don't take into account great singers who happen to be pop punk emo singers because it's like, oh, well, that's not a real genre. They're doing a melodramatic delivery. It's not the same quality. And I'm not going to sit here and put, let's say, Hayley Williams, Gerard Way, Brendan Urie, God rest his soul. I'm not going to put them up against alive. I'm not going to put those up against like.
We'll see by the time I edit this.
There you go. Oh, Jesus. Not going to put those up against like Aretha Franklin. Not going to put those up against like fucking James Brown, like whatever. It's not the same conversation. But I think there's Hayley Williams specifically has a fucking phenomenal voice. It is truly an experience. If you haven't taken the time, find on YouTube the videos of her recording the vocals for like Misery Business. Even if you don't love Misery Business, and I'm sort of like, lukewarm on it, it's a decent song. Her vocals alone, just acoustic, are absolutely unbelievable on that track. And you don't really get a chance to appreciate it. They're fucking awesome. Also, side note about Hayley Williams, she grew up next door to Rodney Hood, who would go on to be an NBA player. And I'm pretty sure that's why she knows how to sea walk. She knows how to crip walk because Rodney Hood taught her. I'm pretty sure that's the story.
That's amazing.
She knows how to crip walk. That's why when you see clips of her doing it, she does it very, very well. So, yeah.
Dude, their new album's great.
Which one's their newest?
This Is Why?
It's I listened to it once, and I think that
Wow.
I listened to it once, and I think After Laughter is great. I remember really liking After Laughter. I listened to the singles they released for This Is Why, and I thought they were really good. And then I listened to the whole album, and I was like, the singles are the tent poles of this, I would say.
No.
Disagree.
Hard disagree.
Okay.
I request a re-listen.
Okay.
At some point in your near future.
I can make that happen.
You're allowed to have your own opinion. It's just incorrect, and I feel sorry for you.
I have a friend who is deeply, deeply into Paramore, so if I recorded that opinion to him, he would probably have a very similar, if more inflammatory response to that. So I can appreciate you having an even-keeled delivery.
Oh, I'm trying my best. It's taken every fiber of me to not pounce over this table and strangle you to death right now.
There's a deep setting feeling of unease that has entered the room today.
If I didn't have 2 more songs to play, then
you have one more song.
trouble.
Oh, are we doing 4?
We're doing 4.
We're doing 4. Okay, in that case, I'm going to run up to song 2. Are we ready for the next song?
Yeah.
We have an extra long recording session today, my friends. So that being the case, I now get to tell you about this group. Middletown, Connecticut's own. Middletown fucking Connecticut. Connecticut finally produced something fucking worthwhile, folks.
Remember what we said about being brief, Kobe? I can see the fire building up inside you. I can see the gears turning. I can see how frustrated you are that I'm taking up more space just by talking about this right now.
In the nature of being succinct, I won't go too deep into it before we even play the song. This is the 4th studio record from Middletown, Connecticut's own psych pop darlings, formerly named Management. This is Me and Michael by MGMT. Me and Michael.
Yo, shout out Michael. Where the fuck that is.
It's not a question of fuck. I love that song. So
I want someone to sing about me the way that Mr. MGMT sings about Michael.
It's more than one guy, but I understand what you're saying.
Misters.
Thank you.
MGMT.
Sure.
Is it Management?
Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
Management, MGMT. Well, they go by MGMT. They used to be called Management, and then when they got signed to a deal, they had to change their name because there was already a band called The Management.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, that's a bummer.
So
I'm trying to think of what else MGMT could stand for. Many guys make tunes. How many people are in the band?
2.
Oh, well.
Multiple guys make tunes.
Multiple guys make tunes.
In any event, my friends, we're going to the concern that my friend here was raising about me going too deep into detail is the next band that I will talk about. So not this one. So this is
less of a concern.
I was thinking he thought I was going to go very deep into my ripping of Connecticut, which I could, but I will not. So
is this a Connecticut band?
I told you.
You did.
Middletown, Connecticut's own.
Oh, see, I think Connecticut just passed right through my mind as people pass right through Connecticut.
All right. So this is the 4th studio record of Middletown, Connecticut's own psych pop darlings, MGMT, formerly Management. This was formed by 2 friends whose names I do not have in front of me right now. A mutual love of music while just kind of hanging out at Wesleyan University, a university in Middletown, Connecticut.
Can I assume that one of their names is Michael?
I don't think it is. Let me
Weird.
MGMT members.
So who's the me?
The guy singing.
No, okay, not the other guy.
Andrew Van Wingarden and Ben Goldwasser.
Wow, neither of those are a Michael, huh?
No, not even really close when you think about it now. So, in any event, they formed at Wesleyan, just kind of hanging out, listening to music. They started it as a pop rock star parody group where they started making music that they knew people would think is popular that they fucking hated apparently, and they it was sort of meant to be a joke on what rock stars could be like. Yeah, we're out having sex with women and drinking champagne, and it was them performing for like 12 people. And then they caught on, and the joke wasn't a joke anymore. So speaking of 80s dance pop, speaking of how 80s dance pop makes us feel fall time, it is fall time, and this is one of the most 80s dance pop songs I've ever heard to not be straight out of the 80s. This has a great fucking like dance hall feel to it. I love the synths. I love how bouncy it is. I love the way his voice sounds. I love that every time you listen to it, you can find a different instrument to focus on, and it's all so distinct, and it all has its own thing. I love this song. It feels like this big fucking brick wall, and every individual brick is painted a slightly different pattern.
It does.
It's fucking awesome, and it hits you, and it's another insanely catchy chorus. You can notice a trend with these songs so far. This is 3 for 3, and frankly, I find the 4th one to be catchy too. We will get there. Extremely catchy. My hot take is that this album that it's from, Little Dark Age, is the best MGMT record. I think it's better than Oracular Spectacular, which is meant to be their like magnum opus. It is one of the most revered indie pop records of all time, which is funny because they started making pop music as a fucking joke, and now they have probably the most, I don't know for sure, controversially one of the most one of the most renowned indie pop records, easily of the 2000s, possibly of all time. But yeah, I love it. I love that it has psychier elements in it. My hot takes. My hot take on this song. I don't like their song "Kids" all that much. Like, I think it's good. I don't think it's like the classic that everyone thinks it is. I think it's decent. I think it overstays its welcome. I don't think it has a catchier tune to it. I think "Me and Michael" is a fucking awesome song off of MGMT's best record.
Well said.
Thank you, my friend.
Well said. No, that was beautiful.
Thanks, man.
That was a very, very
succinct.
I was going to talk about the song, but we can make it about you.
My bad. It is about me, but my bad.
Got to work on your management. Your MGMT.
Oh, Jesus, George. Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, go ahead. Can we talk about the song now? Oh, my God.
I'll bring us out of this little dark age here.
I don't think this is going to work. I don't think. Well, go ahead. Yeah.
I gotta collect myself.
It's not that funny. You don't have to collect yourself for shit. That sucked.
I gotta collect myself. I'm laughing at your reaction.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
God.
Don't.
I've heard the song before.
Okay. Yeah.
Somewhere. I think Spotify gave it to me at one point or another. I'm sorry for all the Spotify product placement. I don't mean for that to be the case. I mean, I'm on a family plan. It's my option. I'm taking it and running with it, But I love songs, especially of this caliber, that sort of explode in this this soundscape, this echoey. It brings you into this world, yet it's about something so simple. It's not trying to like steal you away with religious metaphors or huge political statements, or maybe it is. Maybe I just haven't read deep enough into it. But the chorus is just me and Michael, like whoa, yeah. It's just it sounds like it's just a couple of buddies.
Yeah, it's literally meant to be a song about some buddies.
Some buddies?
Yeah, it's a song about some buddies. The Genius annotation says the original idea was that the line was me and my girl, but this was later changed to me and Michael. Overall, the message itself is purposely ambiguous, but most take it as a sign of friendship.
See, I love that shit. I love that. Give me big expressive art with very simple meaning.
Just being a bro.
Just being a bro.
Having a bro that you're dancing to 80s pop with. Let's go.
Having a Michael. Everybody has a Michael.
Everybody's got a Michael.
Everybody knows a Michael.
At least one.
I used to think about this when I was young.
About having a Michael?
Yes, actually, because I used to think, damn, I know a lot of Michaels.
Michael.
I genuinely, on the way to like high school or middle school, I would sit on the bus and I would think, how many Michaels can I think of? And I would hit like 20 and I would start like messing up because I had too many. And that was years ago. Imagine how many Michaels I know now.
I don't think I have a single friend named Michael.
But you know a Michael.
Personally?
Yeah.
There used to be this kid in my elementary school named Mikey Thomas who was really fucking fast.
See, you know a Michael.
He was the coolest kid because he was really fast. All the girls wanted him because he was super fast.
Now imagine how cool it would have been if you were with Michael and he was really cool.
He was so fast.
You'd probably write a song about it, right?
I couldn't keep up. He was so fast.
Well, that's why this song is so
I don't think
explosive.
I would use.
You got to yell
Michael.
because he's so far away. He's running so far from you. So you got to, Michael, just as loud as you can in this huge explosion of sonic longing for Michael.
So I'm not going to lie to you. First of all, I love that you're getting super involved in the song. I love that you loved it. I love that. That's great. I think you and I are very much a me and Michael pairing. Let's just talk about fucking dance pop together. Love that about it. I feel as though you're getting a bit far away from the song in a very non-constructive way. I won't lie.
Hey, man, art is subjective and art discussion is just as subjective.
Shout out Mikey Thomas if you're out there, bro. Shout out to you. I don't think he fucking knows who I am.
I mean, he's probably far away by now.
Oh, my God. Yeah, he might have. It's possible. I don't know.
All right, anyway.
So this is a great song. I love it. Listen to Little Dark Age. It's got this sick-ass yellow cover with this really fucking cool, like, portrait on it that's like, I think it's made up of, like, black dots. It's fucking sweet.
Kind of looks like The Scream, that painting.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. The album sort of got a little bit of it went on a little bit of a heater when it came out because they had their song, the title track, Little Dark Age, became a very big deal on TikTok especially. And it's interesting how TikTok has sort of molded our ability to create pop masterpieces and stuff. I always have found that to be very interesting, the flow of time.
Fact.
Fact. So, yeah, because they, Little Dark Age is the one that's like, policemen swear to God, love seeping from their guns. I know my friends and I would probably turn and run. Catchy as hell, but really dark. I think LDA is great. I think the song is great. I think everyone needs a Michael. Everyone needs a me. Jam out with whatever parts.
Everyone needs me.
Everyone needs, well, not me, the quote-unquote me. Everyone needs themselves. No one needs, I would like to think some people need me. What's your next song, George?
So, this next one. So the air's getting colder.
Oh my God. The fascinating through line of this whole thing is how many different ways I can say I like a chorus of a song and how many ways George could say it's almost fall time, baby.
It's almost fall time. It's almost fall time.
Yeah, it is.
I'm so excited for it.
No, I mean, that's not an untrue statement.
This was actually a complete coincidence. I did not pick this song because it's fall related or it reminds me of fall, but it just so happens to fall into that category.
Oh, Christ. It's like I'm talking to a newspaper. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. I'm listening. Come on. We're almost there.
I don't have much to say about it. I know this is a very popular group. I'm not super familiar with them. I know some of their bigger hits. I think I stumbled across this one on some sort of algorithm, but I've just been jamming out to it lately. This is a walkie song. When I need my walkies,
yeah,
this is what I put on. This is how I stretch them legs. This is how I keep the blood clots at bay. You know what I'm saying?
Walkies? Do you want walkies?
I do want walkies. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Episode 1, folks.
You got to understand, for a living, I sit.
Yeah, true.
And I don't mean for work.
Just in general.
I mean for a living.
Yes.
I do my work sitting.
Yes.
I enjoy my entertainment of choice sitting.
Yes.
My favorite activity is sitting.
Yeah, yeah. So this is the walkie song.
So walkies are important, and this is the walkie song. This is not a fall specific song.
Sorry.
But the song is called "Summer's Over" by TV Girl and Jordana. Talk about a groove.
Oh yeah.
Man. Mm-hmm. Something about like the vocals too. They're just so spacey. I keep saying that. That's my word of the day. Spacey.
A lot of these songs are very spacey.
But talk about a groove, man. That shit is banging. That shit is like, it sounds contained, but it also sounds like a little festival. You know, like a little beach bonfire in the evening. A little goodbye to summer, obviously, given the name of the song here. But I love a good groove. It gets me moving. It gets the legs working. It gets the quads pumping. It gets the toes curling. The glutes in motion. You know, it's
all of those parts.
All of those parts. All of those parts.
So,
Kobe had to pee, and I started talking, and I forgot that you had to pee.
I can deliver my 2 cents.
This is supposed to be a break for pee, but
I had to sit and talk about my girl, TV Girl. So I like TV Girl. I would say I'm in the same ballpark as you when it comes to my knowledge of TV Girl. I like we were talking about the records they released. I like I know they released a new one relatively recently, but
this is a collab too.
This is a collaboration
between TV Girl and Jordana. I'm not familiar with Jordana, if I'm pronouncing that right, but I don't want to leave her behind here.
Yeah, so they have 2 albums that I really have listened to. The ones that most people probably have listened to. Who Really Cares in French, Exit. You know, they're the lovers rock band. They are they're very great. I think an underrated aspect of music that is fall time music. I think an underrated aspect of that is the evenings in like the November, October where it's like chilly and you can see your breath, but it's raining and you could hang out outside if you wanted.
Absolutely.
And I think that bedroom pop, and especially the way TV Girl does it, where they have these very interesting like loops in a lot of their songs. Like Lovers Rock specifically has this very cool violin loop that they use, and it's so beautiful and it's lovely, and I think they've sort of perfected the bedroom pop idea where it's like airy, spacey vocals of fucking awesome loop that you can turn your brain off to, and the feeling that you could listen to it with people and you can listen to it alone and you will get a completely different feeling, but it'll fucking rock no matter what. I think it's a great song. I love it. I mean, it's there's not a whole bunch to. I mean, I know this is supposed to be a podcast where we talk about our opinions on music and shit, but I mean, it's just it's a good song. It's a nice, tight little number. There's not much to say.
Yeah, it's a beautiful intoxication around this time of year song. Not saying you have to be intoxicated to enjoy it. I enjoy this stone cold sober, but
I enjoyed Stone Cold Sober.
Man, if I was like a little out of my head, and I heard this on at a party or something, I'd be shaking ass.
Ooh.
I'd be jamming, brother.
Ooh. I would be on the floor.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! Put me on like a cliff. Put me on Lover's Rock, dare I say. And put me on Lover's Rock and have Summer's Over come on. Dude, I'll be jumping in leaves. I'll be sipping pumpkin spice. I'll be throwing candles around, all that shit. Every trope you can think of, I'm there, brother.
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
Yeah. I'm glad that fall time for you is insinuating that if you were at a cliff and heard TV Girl, you would consider jumping.
Oh, I didn't mean it like that.
Oh, my bad.
Theoretically, the leaves would be on the cliff, but
as there so often want to be. I feel as though TV Girl is a great song to get into if you're not super versed in them this fall. I think they have a great
TV Girl is a great song to get into.
Band shit. Band.
Gotcha. I'm not making fun of you.
Keep it in.
Keeping you consistent. That's what I'm here for.
Keep it in. So I think that TV Girl is a great group to get into. I think their live performances are funny because during Lovers Rock, there's a breakdown in it, and I don't remember where it is specifically. But TV Girl is like this dude. I think he's in his 30s, and this woman, I think she's in her 30s. And there's a part where they just like start doing like a walk around the stage. They're not going to be able to see it, but I'm going to demonstrate it for you so you can get the feeling of what I'm doing. So they do this thing, and they go around the stage like this, and they just go.
Oh, I see. He's doing a motion. He's doing a jig.
It's very it's almost like David Byrne Do you know what I mean? Like it's very like Talking Heads awkward, sort of like I don't know what to do with my body, so I'm just gonna do something with my body.
It looks like you're doing like that like Egyptian walk dance, except you're only doing it halfway. Kind of like curling up with a fist instead of poking out with a hand.
Yeah, the Egyptian dance that my best friend Steve Martin did for King Tut.
Steve Martin,
my best friend Steve Martin,
the actor.
Didn't he do King Tut? Who did King Tut? Was that fucking?
You said your best friend, and that's what threw me off.
Yeah, my dear friend. Yeah, King Tut on SNL. SNL sucks. Don't worry about SNL, but it's
damn.
SNL fucking it blows. I'm sorry. I
mean, I agree with you.
There are
this
bits,
is not a podcast to throw shade at other.
It's not, and I'm gonna direct it back to TV Girl before we get really off track. But it's a great song. Listen to it. He's schmeezing at me is what he's doing. He's got this tight mouthed grin at me as if he's waiting for me to start talking about SNL again. It's great. They're awesome. That's it.
Beautifully said.
Yeah, I think so.
Go piss, girl.
Go piss, girl. I gotta pee.
Sorry, go piss, man.
You can do what you want. That's such a good point. I was trying to lead back in a natural way that made it sound like we're friends.
That's
off
just not
camera.
gonna work, bro.
It's not. I tried to make it seem like we're friends off mic.
We can. I mean, I'll keep it. Fuck it. This is staying in. If you can hear this, that means it's in. And staying
in. Okay.
But when you edit something like this, it's a clean cut. You jump from one segment to the next.
Oh, so that's going to sound manic.
Usually seamless.
Yeah, usually.
But now it's just going to cut in.
With me going.
I think right after I said go piss girl, you're going to be laughing and saying that's a good point.
Okay, never mind. I actually think that works then. I'm back around on it. So for this song 4, my last song of the week, I knew that I wanted this band to be my closer because I have a whole thing that I want to say that I wrote up because I adore this band so much. Speaking of fall-time classics, speaking of shit that makes us tap our little toes in the fall time, speaking of shit that means so much to us that October may as well be their band name, I have written a radio intro, and then I promised my compatriot that I will not go super in-depth on lore because I could do a whole thing.
Compatriot?
Compatriot.
Oh, okay.
What you champion in your own personal life is totally your call.
Continue.
You can be a patriot for
Continue.
them. So, real quick, if you want more on this band, listen to the No Dogs in Space podcast about it. Fucking love No Dogs in Space. They did a whole thing on Velvet Underground.
Damn, I don't remember them paying us for a sponsor.
I love them enough that I'll do it for free. So, here we go. This next song is from a band. Forming in 1964 in New York City as a backing band to an experimental art collaboration featuring more than 10 members, including whip dancers, actors, and amateur filmmakers dubbed the Exploding Plastic Inevitable. Initially, and at the time of this song off their debut's release, managed by the most famous pop artist of all time who would make up his own space in the American artistic and cultural tapestry for the rest of the 20th century. Initially and confusingly including a German supermodel and aspiring actress who would release 2 records of her own before dying in a freak bicycle accident in Spain.
Whoa!
Featuring a strikingly conservative androgynous drummer, heavily inspired by African percussionists. With a tall, lanky, legendary guitarist who was doing undergraduate work whilst waiting to perform sets at Max's Kansas City before eventually going on to become a tugboat captain.
Okay.
With a Welsh multi-instrumentalist child prodigy who once ran drugs for experimental musician Lamont Young in New York City, adding an even more freaky edge to an art rock group before becoming an extremely gifted producer.
Weird.
All fronted by the angry, snippy, snarky, sarcastic forebearer of the New York counterculture and one of the best lyricists of all time. This is Waiting for the Man by The Velvet Underground.
Is the man Michael?
God damn it. I mean, come on.
What?
No, come on.
It's a valid question.
I don't think-
we've been having a trend here.
That may be his name. I can't speak to that. I don't know. I wasn't there.
All right.
So this...
Hey, it would make a good 3-man weave.
So the leaves are changing. The seasons are changing.
Yes.
This is my fall-time band.
This is your fall-time band?
This is historically my fall-time band because as the weather gets chillier, my tastes get a bit jazzier and they get more experimental. And these guys are the kings of experimental art rock and proto-punk. These guys are the fucking kings of that, right? So
I have a question.
I have an answer.
What is the Velvet Underground mean
What does it mean?
Yes.
So there's conflicting theories on.
Why did that come out like that?
You're fine, man.
What is the Velvet Underground, man? Folks, the caffeine's wearing off. I'm sorry.
So
I'm experiencing what some might call a crash.
Well, it's a good thing that we only have one more after this, and then we're doing nothing later. So,
we're doing stuff later.
Don't say it like that. So,
we're doing writing club.
Oh yeah, mothers, lock your doors.
So, the boys got pens, baby.
Oh Jesus. So, ow. So, the Velvet Underground. It's disputed who actually came up with the term, or who had the idea for them to name the band that way. It is the name of a book of illicit. Underground sexual activity and BDSM activity.
That's what I was worried about.
It is an early book detailing the illicit and more BDSM-laced sex lives of people in America. The Velvet Underground is the underground world.
Who wrote it?
Who wrote the book?
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. The Velvet Underground book. Was Michael Lee? Well, this might be about Michael Lee. So. It's basically a report on paraphilia in the U.S., which is to say, I believe, the love of a lot of sex, more or less. Abnormal sexual desire. So like BDSM shit.
Abnormal sexual desire.
That's what it's defined as. I don't feel it's abnormal to be into BDSM. Live your truth as long as you're being happy, healthy, and everyone's consenting. I
was going to say, this sounds very Kobe.
He got wide-eyed as if I was his parent and I just caught him doing something bad. But so. It's based off that, which makes sense because a lot of their topics are about the BDSM scene. He has several songs. One specific song. Lou Reed.
It's one guy?
No. So Lou Reed is the principal songwriter.
Oh, okay.
So this song.
He's the Haley Williams.
He doesn't have her voice, but yeah. He's the principal songwriter. They have a lot of an experimental sort of interest in the underground of. The underground of New York City. He has songs talking about.
I get it.
Talking about
because it's called the Velvet Underground.
Yeah, George, you're so clever. He has a lot of songs talking about the members of the transgender community, talking about cross-dressing, talking about. There's a song on this record that I almost played, but I thought it might have been too out there for an introduction to the Velvet Underground, called "Venus and Furs," which is literally all about a guy who's super into. Leather bondage type shit. Like, and again, I can't explain to you enough the through line of all of this. He is releasing this. This is coming out in the 60s. This is pre-Abbey Road. This is before the invasion, the British invasion, pretty much. This is like this shit because they form in 64. He wrote this song, which is about, by the way, buying heroin. The song is about buying heroin. This is 1964. This band is forming. Their first album doesn't come out until 67, but this is a 64 idea. They're so ahead of their time. I don't even know where to start because I love this song. So I'm going to start with you. What did you think of the song? And then I will give my whole spiel.
This reminded me a lot of the hypothetical last week when you showed us Billy Bragg and Wilco there.
Interesting.
It kind of had that same sort of energy. It's a simple song, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I just mean like it consisted mostly of like one riff, a couple riffs, and it just kind of carried an energy with it the whole way. It felt like a performance, which I mean, all songs are performances, but this felt like a live sort of, more of a rough around the edges. You're kind of just witnessing this as it happens sort of thing. And I appreciate that. It feels very underground. Dare I say, a little Velvet.
Bold take.
It is living up to the name. I mean, I like the groove of it. It's not what I expected. I've heard you say many, many, many a thing about the Velvet Underground. Yet, I never went out of my way to listen to
That's fine. No, that's fine.
Not because I was avoiding it by any means, just because I was waiting for this moment.
Waiting for the man.
Waiting for Michael. And I'm glad he finally came because this is a good tune. This is a dancer.
Yeah. So again,
new walkies.
I mean, again, I made promises that I would not go deep into the lore of this band, so I will not. I will try to talk about them in the present tense as much as I can.
Yeah, man, promises are meant to be broken.
That's
the magic of life.
I made a scout's honor, even though I'm not a scout. What
are you?
A Leo. I'm going to say that this is, I started getting into this band around 2 years ago, specifically in the fall time, because at that time I was interning for a gentleman who will remain nameless, as I don't want to be overly crass. It didn't work out, and it wasn't really for me. But the experiences I had during that was I had an opportunity to be in the Gloucester area as fall time was setting in.
That sounds familiar.
That sounds really interesting.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So one of the things that
I think I should stop interrupting you. That's what I
No, I mean, listen.
No, go ahead.
You were there.
I was there. That's the point.
I wasn't interning for George.
No, but we were interns
for
together.
the same gentleman.
We were interns in crime. This podcast would not be happening if we were not interning there together.
No, that's lore.
Yeah,
that is lore.
That is lore. That is the foundation. The amount of McDonald's runs we did to avoid working for this dude,
this gentleman. So remain nameless. The point is, during this time, I had a lot of time driving around because it's 30 minutes from my house, and specifically, there were several times where I had to walk around Gloucester. I had to just walk around, pretty much. I had to go from I was a door-to-door newspaper boy, more or less. And during that time, I had a lot of time to listen to some stuff. So I was listening to the No Dogs in Space podcast on the Velvet Underground. Again, go out of your way to listen to it. It is it's awesome. I cannot say enough about them, but we're not here to talk about them. And I had time to listen to a bunch of the Velvet Underground. And I just listened to the Velvet Underground. Imagine, set the scene. You've been to Gloucester. I'm sure many people, of the 5 people listening, I'm sure at least 3 of them have been to... Maybe 6.
Maybe 7.
I'm sure at least 3 of them
Definitely not 8.
No, that'd be too much. I'm sure at least 3 of them have been to Gloucester. Imagine this. Fall time. Crisp air. Hoodie. Jeans. Walking shoes. Walking around. Walking around. Resenting certain parts of your life. Feeling a slight bit of angst, but a slight bit of excitement for the fall. Right? You are, I can't express this enough. You are feet from the water. You are able to see the water. Okay? You're walking around, there's a chill in the air, but you're listening to a punchy and experimental and hard fucking art rock band. And this song has it all. It has, I assume, John Cale, he's the Welshman, beating the shit out of a fucking piano. It has, he's beating the fuck out of it. He's got that. We've got fucking fuzzy guitars. I'm not gonna clap. We got fuzzy fucking guitars. We got fucking fuzzy ass lyrics. We have this driving and thriving and thumping fucking drum line laid down by Mo Tucker, the unfortunate conservative.
Is that fuzzy too?
A little bit. So they would get, so they're all about fuzz, and they're all about they're all about fuzz, and they're all about bending the expectations of what rock music can be. They didn't hit in their time because they were so experimental, but later on, people would go on to be like, your favorite band's favorite band probably loves the Velvet Underground. Whoever your favorite band is in like the sort of like rockier scene, they probably have a favorite band. And that band's favorite band, your favorite band's favorite band, your favorite band's favorite band's favorite band. I think I got all of them. Their inspiration is probably the Velvet Underground.
I think you lost me, but keep it pushing.
The point is, they laid down the baseline for art rock, for proto-punk, for experimental rock.
Yeah.
They laid down the baseline for all of this shit, and they did it again. They did this in a pre-Abbey Road world. The rock world would be redefined by the Beatles a couple years later in a completely different way. Because this, to me, this screams 70s, 80s, 90s. This could take place in any of those decades, and I would be like, yeah.
So when was this?
This was in the 60s.
Really?
This came
does
out
not
in the 60s.
sound 60s.
No, it does not. And so they would get even more fucking bizarre because on their next record, White Light, White Heat, which they made while they were all pissed at each other, there is a song on it that is a 13-minute guitar-centric epic that is a 13-minute improv battle between 2 guitars and Lou Reed spouting random lines. That's all it is, and it's 13 minutes. It's called Sister Ray. It's unreal.
Is it good?
It's a moment in time. I don't go out of my way to listen to it all the time because it's 13 minutes and it's sort of meandering, but
I love that descriptor, a moment in time. That's how I'm going to start referring to every embarrassing moment I've ever experienced, every low point I've gone through, every manic phase. That is just a moment in time, baby.
So
That is a Lou Reed. That is
Ladies and gentlemen, I will not take up too much more of your time here today talking about this group, though. If you couldn't tell by my tone of voice, I really could. This is the Velvet Underground. The last thing I'll say to you is this. There are certain acts, there's certain music that you listen to and you just feel cool. When I hear the Velvet Underground, if I'm in my car, if I'm walking down the street,
walkies.
If I'm going on walkies, if I'm listening to it in my room alone, if I'm high out of my mind, if I am sober as a nun on Sunday, that's
sober.
That's pretty sober. This is the coolest band, arguably the coolest band of all time. Thoughts? Anything to add before we go into the final song here?
I don't know, man. I feel afraid.
You feel afraid?
As soon as he said this is arguably the greatest band of all time.
I didn't say greatest, I said coolest. I said coolest.
Sorry, the top comment on this YouTube video for Velvet Underground says one of the greatest songs of all time. So I got my words crossed. But as soon as he said this is arguably the coolest band of all time, he immediately assumed gladiator position.
I did?
As if expecting an argument.
Oh, did I go?
And I'm intimidated. No, you stretched your arms out. You did the whole Russell Crowe shit. You were ready.
No, my friend, you can have
You said arguably with your chest and were fully ready for whatever argument was going to be thrown your way. So I'm terrified. I'm terrified to I didn't even have an argument for you and I'm still scared. I'm still worried I'm going to slip up and say the wrong thing.
You can have any opinion you want on this band. Any opinion you can want on this band.
Listen, this is the only time I've ever heard this band. This is all I'm familiar with.
Go out of your...
band.
By the way, all these songs that he played, that I played, go listen to these songs. Go listen to these albums. These are all awesome songs and albums and bands. Sorry. Had to say that.
And? You were saying?
No, just had to say... Go ahead.
Oh,
Sorry.
I thought you were leading into go listen to Velvet Underground.
Yeah, no. I mean, all of them. Go listen to all the bands. Go listen to the Velvet Underground. Go listen to... The debut is really good. It's an iconic... You know the album cover. It's the big Andy Warhol banana. You know it. Go listen to the debut. You can listen to White Height. Jesus. You can listen to White Heat if you would like. It's a much more experimental listen, so I wouldn't do that one in your first couple listens. I can give you my order right now. Give me one. I promise George is going to be allowed to play his song soon. I just need to give you... It's very rare that I get to kibitz about the fucking Velvet fucking Underground. Hold on. Everyone stop. The recording will not go on until I fucking give you my opinions on this. You can pretty much skip Squeeze. Because all the members from the early days are gone on Squeeze. If you really need to listen to a Doug Yule solo record, do you? Their live records are all great. I wouldn't start there. I would start with the Velvet Underground and Nico. Then I would do the later on self-titled. Then I would do Loaded. And then from there, you can do whatever you want. I would dive into the live shit after that if you really caught your eye, because the Velvet Underground is notoriously one of the best live bands of all time. And now I am done. You can have the final word, or we can transition right into the next song.
I'm excited to hear more. I'm expecting more Velvet Underground in the future on this show, and I'm excited for it.
I might bring in Venus and Furs one day, because that song is so fucking weird.
Maybe next week.
And more people need to listen to it. It's so fucking weird.
Maybe next week.
I fucking love that song so fucking much. It's so fucking good. Sorry, that was a really awkward and intimate moment for you and I. Sorry. It's great. Listen to the Velvets. All right, I'm done. Rant over.
All right. The final song of September 6th. The first and only second episode of Sleeper Suplex.
Yeah, we spontaneously appeared here. There was nothing prior, and
Nothing.
There's only exhaustion in the future.
Only the alleged demo episode that's lurking out there in the depths somewhere. There's some really killer tracks on that one. But
Yeah, they're great. Including one that you referenced before while I was talking about the Velvets.
Allegedly. Who knows? Kobe, if I had to ask you...
It's fall. It's about to be fall, if that's what you're about to ask me. Sorry. Sorry.
If I had to ask you, given the songs I've shared, what this next song is about.
What it's about?
Give me your statement. Give me your hypothesis.
What I think it's going to be about in terms of what the song means, or what I'm going to feel.
Well, like what do you predict? What's my outro for this week? Give me a vibe, give me a feeling, give me a genre, give me something to work with here.
So the logical money would be that it's going to be another bedroom pop song because of the sort of trajectory we've been on. A very light, simple instrumental song. The look that he's giving me and the excitement that he has sat forward in his chair with, and the look, and he's flicking his tongue at me. It's very bizarre. I feel like it's going to be something entirely different. So my point between super fucking confusing and experimental, I think you were going to play me Chop Suey by System of a Down. Is it not that?
Chop Suey by
Chop
System
Suey.
of a Down?
Yeah.
You mean by Lil Uzi?
I guess I do, George. I guess technically I do.
Kobe.
Yeah.
Only a fool would say that. Steely Dan. I was enlightened as this song was doing its thing. I was peering out at the YouTube comments under this video here. Apparently, this is a John Lennon diss track.
That's what I'm seeing that on Genius too.
I had no idea.
It's meant to. The belief here is that the placing of the lines make it seem like an answer to John Lennon's "Imagine" released the year before. A song that this is the Genius quote. A song that quote natural cynics like Becker and Fagin would have surely listened to askance.
Askance.
It's a great word.
I like that term, natural cynic, because I think we talked about this theoretically with Ben Howard, but
On the Alleged episode.
What episode? But I like a good tune that has an upbeat energy to it, but kind of has lyrics that still focus on a more negative side. And not to say that this one is necessarily focused on a negative side, but it's cynical.
Yeah.
It's realist. It's a balance, and perhaps my therapist would disagree, but I like to take all my entertainment with just a smidge of cynicism, a smidge of realism. Sometimes when I get too pulled off into a world where everything's pretty and bouncy and lovely, it almost feels too fake. It's too hard to get immersed in it because there's nothing relatable for me to grab onto. I got a little bit of a nihilist in me, a little bit of a cynic, and having even just like a slight mention of that to grab onto in an otherwise would be bop. It's comforting. It's weird. I don't know if that makes me a weird person, but I feel comfort in the mention of negativity. And I'm trying so hard not to be a negative person anymore. But for some reason, when a piece of media gives me a bit of edge, a bit of a fuck you, John Lennon. Shout out John Lennon, kind of. Do we like John Lennon? What's the consensus there? Steely Dan doesn't like John Lennon.
I like the Beatles.
There's one song John Lennon has. It's called Hold On.
Yes. He barks like a dog in it.
Good tune.
He barks like a dog in it.
Halfway through the song, he says, cookie.
Yeah, he does that. Oh, wait, no, he barks like a dog in a different one. He does say cookie. He goes, cookie.
Good song.
Yeah.
Why the fuck did he say cookie?
That's a great question.
Fuck John Lennon, man.
Yeah, that's a great question. This podcast is turning into a hit piece.
It is. How many people have we thrown shots at here? Anyway, Steely Dan. Unfamiliar with the band. I know 2 songs by them. I know this, and I know Kid Charlemagne.
What a weird second choice. Is that a popular song by them?
I don't know. I know it's a pretty popular sample.
Okay, well, that explains why you know it then. Yeah, that makes sense. You would know a lot of Steely Dan songs that they played. This is everyone's dad's favorite band.
Yeah, that's what I kind of got from it. But that being said, there's always been a soft spot in my heart for, I don't even know, does this even count as classic rock? I feel like it's classic rock adjacent, sort of in that realm.
Yeah, I think classic rock adjacent's fair. This is jazz fusion.
Jazz fusion.
This is jazz fusion.
Yeah. But something I
would say it's soft rock. I think soft rock's fair.
Yeah. Like, obviously, I know it's not classic rock in the sense of, like, fucking Freebird or some shit, but it could fit into a,
it came out
playlist
nicely. It came out in the 70s and it has a rock sound. Someone's going to call it classic rock.
And a psychedelic album cover. What more could you ask for?
What more could you ask for?
And a John Lennon diss.
And a John Lennon diss, my brother. Yeah, no, I mean, I am skeptical of Steely Dan. And what I mean by that is
The man?
the band.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like referring to the band as one person.
Steely Dan himself, I've never met personally. The music that he and his compatriots, I assume make.
Compatriots?
This is the second time we've done this bit. You have to censor out the first one. I'm skeptical of them only because it is such a radio song. These are such radio songs that you heard, and not that it's bad, but when I was younger, I think I heard Steely Dan multiple times without fully knowing that I was listening to Steely Dan. And not in a bad way either. They have a song called Fire in the Hole that I think is awesome. I think they pull in a lot of elements from other bands. I think they're sort of a catch-all. Like there's a part of Fire in the Hole that legitimately sounds like a Billy Joel song. Like it's actually the chorus where he goes, "Don't you know there's fire in the hole, nothing left to burn." It literally just sounds like Billy Joel.
Oh man, you sound just like Dan.
Your
voice is so steely.
Oh no.
I'm so disappointed with my performance this episode.
I made a point last time in the alleged first episode that I wasn't going to. I made a point to myself. I don't think I said it verbally that I wasn't going to sing. Because I don't really want that to be the focus of, whoa, this guy's trying to sing. Like, I don't want that to even be like a thing.
I've been doing that shit too.
So, cool. They pull in elements from a lot of people, or maybe timeline-wise, other bands pulled in elements from them. It's possible that Billy Joel was like a big Steely fucking Dan fan. It's possible. Yeah, it's a good song. That's the thing about Steely Dan. You can listen to them in pretty much any mood. This is a very, very easy to approach band, and it's catchy as hell.
It's well layered.
It is catchy as hell. It's a very solid, tight track. And shit, I just said how I fucking love jazz in the fall time, and this is jazz fucking fusion, baby. This is some white guys playing some jazz, brother.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Oh, that little bop.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good bop.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good bop, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Steely Dan. Only a fool would say that.
You can tell that we have a lot of strong opinions on Steely. They're from
I was actually really afraid to include this song because
why?
For some reason.
Do you think I was going to make fun of you?
No, maybe it's just the name Steely Dan, but I couldn't shake the feeling that these gentlemen had done something terrible in recent history, like some sort of big anti-vax campaign. I just can't shake that fear. And I tried Googling them before I included this song. I'm like, there's got to be something. Like Steely Dan has to have some sort of like history with cancellation, but I guess not. Fingers crossed.
The only thing I'm seeing on a cursory look at the Wikipedia for Steely Dan, the only thing that sticks out, there is only one member remaining. And
alive?
I don't know what happened to the others. I don't know. It says members: Donald Fagen. Past members: Walter Becker, Jeff Baxter, Denny Diaz, Jim Hodder, David Palmer, Royce Jones, Michael McDonald, Jeff Porcaro. No clue what happened to them. They could have died.
That's a lot of people.
Shit. It says they were active from 71 to 81. And there's a 12-year reprieve from Steely Dan, presumably where they all, quote, got back to their roots or whatever. And then I guess 1993. What's out in 1993? Madonna. I'm sure Madonna brought them back to the senses and they said, we got to get back on this fucking Steely Dan train, bro. And they never looked back. It's been 30 years, and thank God Steely Dan is still with us. Thank God. Maybe it should have been Steely Dawn. He's the only one left.
Thank you, Madonna.
Thank you, Madonna.
And by extension, Tupac.
And by extension, Tupac. That's true. That is true. And you know what? Thank you, Annandale-on-Hudson, New York. That's where they're from, Annandale-on-Hudson.
And thank you, listeners,
for
tuning in this week.
All right.
Yeah, look at that. We did a good segue.
That's a good segue.
And we ruined it.
And we ruined it. So thank you so much, listeners, for listening. If you are listening, George, any closing words before we take it out?
Just the thanks.
Just the thanks
for tuning into the second episode of the September 6th edition of Sleeper Suplex.
Thank you so much. This has been the September 6th episode of Sleeper Suplex.
Sleeper Suplex!
Thank you so much for letting us be of service. Goodbye.